I've got training intel. I've got spring ball behind the scenes. Couple of things to think about. All of that and a little bit more, as we always do here. Get in, sound off, have a take, don't suck. The Bearkat Bite podcast is live. What is going on from the Joker style secret lab chair here? I am Lane Fobbs. I am the prognosticator of this program. I am the disseminator of the weekly Bearkat Bites newsletter. You can find me right there on Twitter and X at Fobbs Talking Ball. Get in here right now. We're going to talk about a little bit of spring ball for Sam Houston. As always, make sure the links are in the description, so check them out right there. You can even buy us a Bearkat's coffee if you'd like. Check us out there. Go ahead and get us a Cat's coffee, because when you do that, you contribute to the good things that are happening here that we're doing in and around the Sam Houston football program. We're the only independent media giving you unbiased analytics and opinions of Sam Houston football all year around. So jump on in. Thank you all for joining. Let me tell you something as we pull this banner up here. Now, I've told you all when we started camp, it's outside of the spring game. It's kind of difficult to get out to camp. Candidly, yes, I'm raising my hand. I am covering Texas A&M spring football as well. That is a paid gig. This is a donations-based gig. That one is a paid gig. And if any of you worked in the world of indie media, independent media, well, you know the difference between the two, right? So it's kind of been a balance this spring, right? I've kind of had to balance both of them, but we've got some boots on the ground. We've got some great people covering and reporting on Sam Houston football, sports of Sam Houston Sports Talk, Cat fans, all these guys. The great Corey Hogue that all of you all hate, who's a big time supporter of what we do. Shout out to Corey. But so we're getting some intel, and of course we're going to talk about the spring game. After the spring game, I'm just going to do a mega broadcast, because then we'll have a lot more data. That is the data that we're going to base the rest of the offseason off of. April 25th is so important, because what's that, May, June, July? I mean, that's going to be our data point for the next 90 days, right? Or about 80 to 90 days, depending on when they have Conference USA kickoff, right? So that's going to be pretty much our only data point of what the team looks like on the field until fall camp. So it's super important. So we'll shout out to some of our boots on the ground. I want to pitch you guys an idea, but that'll be later. But let's talk about some stuff here. I've heard that the offensive line has a better size now. They're bigger, stronger, faster. What do we think about this? Without having seen too much, I've only seen them playing each other, right? What do we think about that? You know, I have said that the one thing I want to look for and see from this offensive line, they really need to be able to pull. Can the guards, are they fast and athletic enough to get around and confuse the defense? Because let me tell you something. You know, a big reason that a guy like Coco Brown really struggled, as good as he is, he struggled behind that offensive line there as he played running back out of the backfield, because the assignment was pretty much block the guy in front of you. And if that's all you're going to do, well, a defense can read that. That's how you got an offense. That's how you got an edge rusher getting around, getting Coco. You know, when they try to run it to the flat, you know, kind of makes sense now why that play could never work despite trying it a billion times last year. You all know what I'm talking about. And you saw some of that a couple years ago as well under Casey Keeler. You guys saw that a couple of years ago as well with Brad Cornelson, who's with the Aggies right now. You know, I'm going to go cover the Aggies on Saturday as well. Do you think I should ask about Brad Cornelson and what he's doing? I wonder what Bearkat fans like to hear what Brad Cornelson is up to. But as far as this year's O-line for Sam Houston is concerned, I think that it is super, super important. Are these guys, is it going to be a more diverse package of blocking schemes, because that is what is really holding them back as we sit here tonight, right? So I really want to see more of that. Reports are that the new offensive line coach, Bickle, he's doing pretty well. His impact is already seen. So that's good. That's good. You know, you always have your concerns about when a guy like that is, brought in later in the offseason like he was. We kind of saw that with the wide receivers coach last year. A big reason they struggled was because the coach started late. Sam Houston's going to have to get to a point where these guys are already there. You know what I'm saying? I keep comparing to A&M, but it's interesting. Similarities. A&M kind of got started a little bit late, but they had promoted from within. So if you're promoting from within, that's one thing, because then there's continuity at least. But Sam Houston twice now, 2 off seasons, they brought in guys from the far reaches of the country in here later in the offseason. And that's not you don't want that. That's not great for the health of your program, right? But with that being said, it looks like the offensive line looks functional. From what I've been reading and what I've heard, my boots on the ground. So there's that. What do you all think? Do you all agree? What do you all want to see from the offensive line? What do you guys want to see? Right? And then I've heard Landon Locke, he's been described as oozing with confidence, which is good. Now, under normal circumstances, if you're at the University of Texas and I told you that Arch Manning is oozing with confidence this offseason. Now, he's not participating. He's in recovery. But if we were to say that right now, you all would just say, let me tell you something. A&M, Marcel Reed is oozing with confidence right now. Can you beat Texas? That's what you'd say. But this is a unique situation for Sam Houston because there was no confidence really in the quarterbacks last year. If you go back through the newsletter archives down in the description on the Bearkat Bite newsletter released every Thursday morning, it's free to subscribe, by the way. It's free to subscribe here at YouTube too. But if you go through that, I told you that I was not confident in the quarterbacks last year because the best bet for Longo was to go ahead and cut the cord of Watson and start Locke or start your one of your freshmen, one of your younger players, right? So they're oozing with confidence is what we've heard. You know, one thing about Sam with Phil Longo, the head coach, one thing I'll give him is that his quarterbacks are pretty confident. For better or for worse, win, lose, or draw, these are usually some pretty confident guys. You can go back to Shea Patterson at Ole Miss with that. You can go back to Shea Patterson, and then you go through what? Sam Howell, you got Drake May, and now you got Landon Locke. These are pretty confident guys who are not afraid to sling it, who aren't afraid to get it done for better or worse. Now, there was not a lot of confidence last year. Looking back in retrospect, that was a big problem, a huge, major problem. Not even necessarily the lack of talent. It was really the fact that Locke did not look confident, right? So the fact he looks confident, that's a big thing. Longo is a coach that has no problem empowering his quarterbacks. I told you all, to have a true freshman speak last year, as Locke got to visit with the media, that's unheard of. That is unheard of across college football, right? Traditionally. So Longo has no problem empowering his quarterbacks. And to me, it is an encouraging sign that Locke is responding to that. Now, you don't want him to be, a-hole confident. I was going to say the other word, but I don't want to brass pole confident. There we go. Yeah. We might have some kids who ain't stepped on a college campus yet listening, right? But you don't want to have that brass pole. You don't want it to go into there. And if it does, you kind of want Phillip Rivers territory a little bit. That's kind of what we're going for here. Kind of keep it there, right? Let's not get into Ryan Leaf territory for those of y'all who are old enough to know that reference. Let's keep it in some Phillip Rivers range, right? What do y'all think about that? The confidence of Landon Locke. What do y'all think about that? Let's stop here and then we'll jump to the defense. Less free runners at the quarterbacks and running backs. Yeah, yeah. And that was the problem last year. That was the major issue. And, a couple of commenters brought it up last year too. Like, I mean, it looks like the linemen are blocking on ice skates. Like, that's the problem. Yeah, yeah. So they probably weren't able to pull and run. So I'm looking for some of that stuff up front. We're definitely going to see. Shout out to General Sam. Get in here and sound off. Have an opinion. The front seven is a strength? I've heard that the D line might be the strength of the defense. That could be a good or a bad thing. That's a good thing. Could be a good thing because there's actually some help, guys not named Dylan Frazier, who are there and can actually get to the quarterback, right? Now, that may be a bad thing because maybe the defensive backs haven't improved. I haven't heard too much from them. I haven't heard too much good about the defense. I haven't heard, I don't want to say good because if I say good, that would suggest I've heard bad things. I haven't heard much of anything about the defensive backs. And this is a defensive coordinator, Freddie Autry-Lindsay, who is a defensive back specialist. So I don't know. But you know what? Nick Saban is a defensive backs specialist as well. And Alabama had some big front seven guys. That was their strength of the defense a lot of years he was there. So, I mean, if they're improved, that's definitely going to help. If these guys, excuse me, if these guys have improved, they've gotten bigger, more athletic, they can get to the quarterback, they can get around the offensive linemen, that is good. That is good. Right? So there's that. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Let's see what we got here. Need Locke to stay confident. Talking a lot. Lead not to stay confident because he has the arm. Yeah. Definitely got to have him stay confident. Landon Locke's definitely got to be. Like I said, I'm not against Landon Locke being confident. I'm not. And I like that Phil Longo empowers his quarterbacks. That's a good thing. But you just don't want him to get cocky confident. You know what I'm saying? Where, okay, you shouldn't have thrown it into that tight window. Stuff like that. So, and that'll come with maturity, right? So, but this is a good starting point. This is a much better starting point than they were at last year. So that's a good thing, right? Oh man, word on the street. Oh, the streets are talking. Oh, them street dogs are barking. And they're saying that one of the suites, the specialized seating for Sam Houston, that's selling pretty well. The box seating for Sam Houston is selling pretty well. That makes sense. Now, let me tell you something. Prairie View you go to Prairie View A&M, they have box seats. I went, my wife took me to see them play Alabama State last year for my birthday. They have some great box seats. And I don't know if all of them were filled up. I can't remember, but a lot of them were. People want those enhanced special game experiences. It's something, we all pool our money and then we go to a game and have fun. People respond to that. People like that. There's a price point to where if everybody contributes like $100 or so, we get 10 people. All right, that's $1,000. We can get a box for that day. That type of stuff works and people respond to that. Sam Houston is responding to that now. And even better, one, it's good that they're offering that they built that into Neubauer Stadium. And two, it's good that people are buying it. It hasn't been too slow. I wasn't too sure how that would go. When smaller schools try the box seating, because I never know how that's gonna go, right? I know University of Texas, they've had box seating since time immemorial. When I was in school back in the 2010s, I got to go and sit at one. This girl I was dating, right? Her dad had a bunch of money, and I was and I was able to sit up there with him and some of his buddies and stuff. So there's that. But now some of these other schools are finally getting into it like 15 plus years later, and they're realizing the money is there. But I'm hearing that the press box isn't ready yet. It may not be ready for the spring game. That kind of sucks. As a media member, I wanted to get in there and kind of get some video for you all that couldn't make it and stuff, and kind of do some reports on that. But we may or may not get to. It's like 2 or 3 weeks away. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. So it kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. But as long as it's ready for the fall. As long as it's ready for the fall, right? Oh man. Final item tonight. Final item. These off-season broadcasts, they don't go too long. We're in the heart of the off-season. I want to watch some baseball, but none of it's on TV. The only NBA we've got on is on freaking Amazon Prime. We got Prime, but it's just feels cheap. I miss NBA Thursdays on TNT. It should still be there, but it's not. People are greedy, so what are you gonna do? What did y'all think about? I don't know. I'm trying to get something together. So Ryan Peterson is from Shiner. I've done a couple of stories about him from my side hustle job. I kind of want to get him involved with him and the Shiner Brewery. We might effort to get them involved. Maybe we all meet in Huntsville and we all take a bus up there or something, or maybe we all meet at Shiner, the brewery. We all go on a tour. We all have a couple of cold ones together. What do y'all think about that? And Shiner could sponsor it. I'm thinking about doing something with that. As things kind of slow down later in April and May, because you guys support this. You guys support the hell out of this. I think we got about 200 plus subscribers to the newsletter. We get about 50 plus people here on average. It kind of drops in the off season, but here every day, every week we do this. You guys support the hell out of this. First, it has nothing to do with me. That's why I want to do it for y'all. Like, screw me. I'm nobody. This has nothing to do with me. This is all you guys. This doesn't work unless you guys demand and want Sam Houston football coverage. And you've shown glowingly that this is what you want. We get about as many people reading this as read, a lot of these county newspapers, these little town and county newspapers, man. Those are the established places. And we do pretty good. And I know a lot of these smaller sites have fallen off and, things like that. They can't figure out the revenue stream. This isn't a full-time thing for us. It's not a full-time thing. And so you all donate and jump in so we can just kind of make it worth the time, right? Because if I didn't come through, if something, I drop dead tomorrow, God forbid, or after this broadcast, or right now, God forbid, the demand is still going to be there. Right. And that's a beautiful thing. And someone else will take up that mantle. Someone else, and other voices for Sam Houston football are here. We're just the only one that's there year round. We focus on it. Right. Now, we've done some baseball stories. We've reported on Ryan Peterson, and we'll continue to report on his meteoric rise for my other newspaper job. So that's going to be cool. But mostly here it's all Sam Houston football. Right. So I'm looking at doing something for you guys as a way to say thank you. Like I said, if that's just getting you all a 6-pack of beer of Shiner, because I like Shiner. I like Shiner beer. It's a social beer. It gets you buzzed, but not drunk and have a hangover. A lot of beer I can't really drink because it's a little too much of the hangover. But Shiner, it's just that light, just that crispy, has just that dash of personality to it. That really, and I've talked about that. It's a very social beer. You can walk around and drink that. You can drink 3 of them back to back. You can knock them back and not you'll feel it, but you're not gonna be like arrested. Feel it, right? So we'll see. We'll see how all that stuff goes, and it'd be really cool to get somebody like Ryan Peterson involved. Like, we do a broadcast out there. Maybe he comes out. We interview him for a minute. He shakes hands, signs autographs with you guys, and he can take off, go see mom and pop, in town, or go wherever he's got to go. Whatever future MLB pitchers do, he can go and do that. So We're trying to do something like that. I want to effort that here. It will probably be around sometime maybe just before the season. I don't know. Maybe after the season we'll go. The weather will be nice again. It won't be hot and sultry and stuff. I could mess up some Shiner. Yeah, man, I've done it. I've done it, man. I've tailgated at Kyle Field at A&M. I brought a 6-pack. No. I brought the big 12 one. I'll hand out a couple. I'll knock out about 4 of them, and then I'll hand out 4 more. Then the other 3, I'll just leave them and let somebody grab them. And the thing with A&M is when you're an alum, you can you go and tell them, and they look up your name on a computer. We're at the Alumni Center, and they give you a voucher for 2 free beers. So what I'll do when I go to the games, I take somebody like my wife or somebody that doesn't or can't drink, and you and a friend can get them. So I'll have her grab some tickets, give them to me. I go in that game right. I always tell them, man, if any of my endeavors ever make millions, I might break them off about 50K. I might do a little something. To get a box seat. And then when I get the box seat, I'll invite you all for when Sam visits A&M again, which hopefully happens in the future. Who knows? Those games are dying off. But if they ever play A&M again in the future, we'll have a box seat. We can all knock back some more Shiner. I'll knock out some beer in the Alumni Center waiting for you guys. And then we'll all go up to the box and knock out some more. And I can do it, and don't worry, I'll be safe. We don't drink and drive. We do not condone that here. So my wife, who's not drinking, is going to drive. You remember my wife, right? The one that I'm going to go cover random football in South Beach and not tell her? Yeah, she's going to be my designated driver. And don't worry, guys. You guys can ride with me. I'm sure she won't mind taking a bunch of drunk 20-something burners home as well. She'll drop each of you off individually at your homes. Right? We will right in front of your porch. Your porches, your your front apartments, what have you, duplex, wherever you live, under a bridge. Some of you might live under a bridge or accessing this. If we need to drop you off at work, we'll do it. We'll drop you off at work. And if they're not playing A&M, then screw it. I'll just, if I hit millions of dollars, well, I'll just buy a box for us at a Sam Houston game. I'll have you guys down there. I'll just be a fan that game. That'll be a game I won't cover. And then my wife can drive you guys home back to work. Some of you guys might have to work after the game. Hey, I've been there, right? So I don't know. I'm just messing around. But we'll see. We'll see where all that stuff goes, though, seriously. But anyway, you guys, thank you all. Make sure you tell a friend. If you know any freshmen coming on campus that love Sam Houston football, tell them we're here. Tell them to follow us. All right. We'll see you guys next time as we get through and grind out training camp. All college football is good college football. You guys take care. We'll see you next time.